Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
Literally a guest star here in this phenomenal race. Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin's the lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Takes the lead on the final lap of the
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 4 of the PSGL PlayStation Tier F4 Championship. My name is, of course, Michael Edwards. Going to be taking you through the action as always on a Monday evening. And joining alongside me in the commentary box is the one, is the only, it is Danny Quinn. Quinn, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. Of course, it's round 4. It's, well, a fresh start for some people who haven't had a good couple of races. Now's the time to really get your head down and get into gear. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing a surprise this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, tonight's action, we will be travelling to the Red Bull Ring. Of course, we're heading to Spielberg for the Austrian Grand Prix. And let's have a quick look at the track in question. The 4.3, 2.6 mile circuit, 10 corners, and of course a free DRS zone. Is going to be providing a lot of close action across the entirety of the race, Quinn. I mean, it's one of those circuits where if you fall out of the DRS train, it could be a very long night for you.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, having, well, 3 DRS zones back to back, it's very, very crucial that you stay within the DRS train. People say, oh, DRS trains are bad, but around here, the best thing ever. You just need to, one mistake from the person ahead of you, and it'll be perfect for you.
Yeah, not only that, it's one of those tracks as well where maybe if you're not exactly confident and you're lacking a bit in terms of the pace of yourself around a circuit like this, being in the DRS train and just getting towed along by the guys up ahead is usually a fantastic thing. But of course, heading in tonight, we do have a full lobby, which is of course what we absolutely love to see, because of course last week obviously at Monaco it was a little bit disappointing. But let's have a look at the results from Monaco round number 3 last time. Of course, it was Lauren T taking the race win ahead of Kilcree in second place and Casper for completing the podium. And then, of course, outside the podium, we've had Provatox, we've had Crisbury, Ivan Knai, and then, of course, we had Jaku in 7th, Alpha Gully in 8th, Robbie in 9th, and George Ansel rounding out the final point paying position. Then, of course, our non-finishers were, of course, Yanel, Krypton, Smalley Balls, Thomas, and Bell Belby. Obviously, last week it was 15 drivers, and, of course, only the top 10 finish, and they were all able to score points. On what that has done in terms of the championship, it means that there's 1 point in it, Quinn. There's 1 point in it, as Ivan Kai needs the way on 27 points, but he has Provatox right in behind on 26 points, and also Casper also on 26 points right in behind. 3 drivers all separated by 1 singular point.
Yeah, if you can stay like that for the rest of the season and then have a 3-way fight at the finale, that'll be great.
Absolutely. And of course, in P4 we have Kilcree there on 21 points, 19 points for Robbie in 5th place. Lauren T on 19 points after that fantastic race win last time out. He's in 6th place. Yanel on 12 points in 7th place. Alpha Gully on 8 points in 8th place. So all the 8s were out for Alpha Gully, finishing P8 last week. And of course, he's got 8 points and he's in 8th place. All the 8s here for Alpha Gully. Aguado currently on 6 points in 9th place. Same with Tiramisu in 10th. And of course, IRT Frank also on 6 points. Same with George Ansel also on 6 points. And Crisby also on 6 points as well. So P9 all the way down to P13, all on 6 points. apiece. So they're going to be looking to separate themselves from that little battle going on right there in the mid-table. And then, of course, we got Bell B in 14th place on 4 points. Jakku also on 4 points. Then, of course, we got Pocoral on 3 points in 16th place. Lucas in 17th on 2 points. And then, of course, we got Chris on 1 singular point in 18th place. As can confirm, guys, there's been an incident already out on track in qualifying, and a lot of debris out on track. We will get you over to the action in just a moment's time, but that did not look too good whatsoever.
Yeah, that was quite a big incident on the entry to turn 9.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will run you through the constructors as well. And much like the drivers, where there's only 1 point separating the drivers' championship, there's only 1 point separating the constructors. Ferrari lead the way on 33 points, 1 point ahead of the Sauber team in second place on 32 points. Then, of course, we got the Haas F1 team on 26 points in third place. So all the Ferrari-engined cars up there in the top 3 right now. As we got Williams in P4 on 23 points, 21 points for AlphaTauri in P5, McLaren in 6th place on 12 points, Aston Martin also on 12 points in 7th place, Alpine in 8th on 7 points. Then, of course, we got Mercedes in 9th on 6 points, and Red Bull complete in 10th place on 3 points. Now, the action out on track, as we got people in the chat now going through the demanding to see the track. Guys, we gotta go through the standings and everything as well. We do have to go through the standings as well, so a little bit of patience does go a long way. But we are now out here on track, as we've had the first lot of times come in, and honestly, it's looking a little bit overcast out there, so maybe could be seeing some rain in this qualifying session. As my co-commentator has gone very quiet, so we'll come back on as we look for someone who is on a flying lap. Of course, I believe everyone into the pit lane now, so we'll wait for the second round of lap times. And of course, we wait to see who is going to come out on top.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was just looking through the Discord chat, and we had a little bit of intel from Chris RBL. The quali will be dry, but the rain will be, well, in the race.
Ooh, that is definitely going to spice things up for the race, 100%. As on the outlap right now, we have Robbie, who is currently down in 17th place, 10.1. Obviously not the competitive lap time at the moment, but I'm guessing Robbie was one of the drivers may potentially caught up in the incident with the Alpine.
It was actually the two Alpines coming together. It was Riggs who was on a lap, and Jakku was just sitting on the racing line in the entry to turn 9, and Riggs, well, just hit into the back of him. And unfortunately ended his qualifying. And I do believe Jakku got a grip penalty for that.
Well, I did just see that Robbie I just seen that Robbie picked up an illegal blocking penalty. Of course, it does mean that this will probably be a lobby restart, as we can't be having the grid penalties popping up like this. But we're going to stay on board with Robbie for a full flying lap around the Red Bull Ring, and we wait to see if Robbie's going to be a contender for pole position. Right now, it is currently a Belby out there on provisional pole, but here comes Robbie now throughout the final corner. Foot to the floor, DRS wide open as we cross the line to begin a flying lap here around Austria. Breaking down in towards turn number 1, 4th gear, the gear of choice for Robbie. DRS wide open once again as we climb up the hill. Through the left-hand little kink of turn number 2 to the brake zone of turn number 3. Again at the 100-meter board. 3rd gear, the gear of choice for Robbie, getting decent traction on the exit. A little bit of a wiggle, so it might have just cost him a little bit of time. But DRS wide open once again, all the way down in towards turn number 4. Again at the 100-meter board, down to third gear for Robbie. Good traction on the exit once again, coming through turn number 5. Now into turn number 6, where you can very easily have a bit of a snap and understeer wide. Robbie did have a little bit of a snap, but was able to keep it on the track as we go through 7 and 8 now. Foot to the floor as we run down towards turn number 9. Really full commitment through turn number 9 is needed to getting the maximum out of it. And now through turn number 10, the final corner, DRS wide open to the line, and it's going to be front row for Robbie right now.
Yeah, that was a very, very good lap there from Robbie, and it was Aguado just, there was a fast lap behind him. He did improve, but not enough to move up position. He actually got exactly the same time as Krypton.
As Casper actually has improved, going on to provisional pole with a 1 minute 3.4. So Casper there finding a time on his second lap here as we wait for the rest of the field to see if they're able to find the timeout on track. And right now we're on board with Zena F1 by here, and in the middle sector, 44.7 middle sector. Yet to get a lap time on the board is the Mercedes, but let's see if Zena can get himself anywhere near the front row. Coming through turn number 9 now, in towards turn number 10, the final corner. DRS wide open to the line, and it's going to be 0.8. So only 16 for right now. But another beautiful thing about this circuit is just it's such a short lap that the qualifying times are very marginal as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, just about to bring that up. From 1st to 19th is only half a second.
Yeah,
you can very easily find, if you're in Chris or Thomas's situation, if you find 3 temps, that can move you up into the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. As we just saw, Provadox, they're improving, going up into a P8, coming on board with Ali Marciano in the Alpha Tauri. So we are going to see if Ali Marciano can find time in his middle sector, currently in P6 on a 1 minute 3.5. Let's see what the middle sector is saying. 300 of a second up on his time, which will be good enough to jump him up ahead of Robbie, but needs a little bit more in this final sector if he wants to get any higher up the grid order.
Yeah, definitely does. You have to really just throw the car into the last 2 corners to try and gain anything.
Oh,
he does, and it's only P2.
Just going to show how good Casper's lap was. We've got George Ansel out there on a lap right now, but he's down by 2.5 tenths in the middle sector, so no improvement there from him. Crispy. Yano's on the lap?
No, he's out. Yano's crashed out of the, on the exit curve of turn 6.
Well, unfortunate there for Yano. Obviously, looking to try and get his way up the championship standings. Currently on board with Ivan Knai as we come down in towards turn number 4 now. Third gear, once again, the gear of choice for the Scuderia Ferrari, coming through turn number 5 now. Into the break-in for turn number 6. Keeping it nice and tight. No little snap like we saw earlier with Robbie, but see if Ivan is going to be able to put it onto the front row, or maybe even get another pole position.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good lap. Was very close to validating there. It is 3.5, so up into the top 6 for Ivan Kanai.
Yeah, absolutely. As Robbie is on another flying lap right here, so I'll actually allow you to go ahead and take us on board with this lap with Robbie.
Ooh, thank you very much. So just around the final corner we go. Down at turn 1, you want to preferably take this corner in 4th gear as he does. You can cut the first turn a little bit, but through the left, the left kink of turn 2, which isn't really a corner, through turn 3, you want to go 3 and has again a little bit of a wiggle coming out there at turn 3 and then through the third and final DRS straight on his track down into turn 4, downhill braking, so you've got to be really careful. Yeah, a little bit of a wiggle on the exit there for Robbie, but overall looking quite clean. Misses the apex there at turn 6. The sector split, he is up, misses the apex there at turn 7 as well. But down into turn 9 we go. He has to throw it in and just hope for the best. And again for turn 10, really on the limits on the exit of turn 10. What will it be for Robbie? It is an improvement up into P5.
Yeah, improvement there for Robbie up into P5 onto the third row ahead of Lawrence now. And into the 3.4s, and we got the top 5 all in the 3.4s, which is incredibly close at the top. We're talking fine margins now, guys, fine margins.
Yeah, I'm just on board with his teammate Chris, and through the second sector he was just about a 10th up on his time, so even he could be on the verges of getting into the 4s. So just coming across the line, what will it be for Chris? He's into the 4s, he's in pole position, well, provisionally.
And here comes Casper now for the final corner. Going to try and retake that provisional pole position back. Casper to the line. Marginal improvement, but not enough to get ahead of Chris.
Yeah, with the nature of the track and how short it is, he definitely does have enough time to get back round and go get himself ready for another lap if he has the tyres for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, we got just under 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the session, and it is CPI Chris currently out on top with a 1 minute 3.431. And then got Casper on the front row with a 0.453, also in the 1 minute 3s, I should say as well, 0.453. And then we got Ali Marciano in P3, we're Krypton in P4, Bell in P5, Robbie in P6, and of course we've got Lawrence, who we're currently on board with in P7 on an outlap right now. So we're going to see what Lawrence can do. Last week's race winner, absolutely dominant in Monaco.
Yeah,
incredible performance from Lawrence, and we're looking to carry that over here tonight.
Yeah, I was just on board with Jacko coming into the pits. He overshot it a little bit coming into the pits, got onto the grass on the left and crashed into the pit lane. So that is both Alpines out of the qualifying.
Yeah, unfortunate for Jack, who's going to be starting at P14 at the very best. But we're currently on board with Lawrence, coming up through the first sector split now up turn 2 in towards turn number 3, marginally up on his sector 1 time as he looks for the best traction possible coming out of turn number 3 with DRS wide open running down in towards turn number 4.
Yeah, it's downhill braking here, so you've got to be very careful not to lock up. Goes wide on the exit, and he's backed out of his lap as Laurenti. So I believe Krypton is just starting a lap, so let's go on board with him as he's
get a bit of a talk.
Getting behind his house. Yeah, getting behind his teammate there. Gonna have a bit of traffic up ahead. Then move out of the way nicely. Half a tenth up for Krypton, which if he keeps that up in every sector, see him go pole by a tenth at least. So there is someone just going around turn 4. It is a Ferrari. Luckily not in the way. Peels off to the side. Very nice from Ferrari ahead. But yeah, Krypton going around turn 6. Just got
dragged too wide. The natural understeer of the corner, dragging him around a bit too wide. Bell down on his lap as well, so Bell's not on a fast lap. Lawrence has gone again, so we'll go back on board Lawrence. Lawrence is running down in towards turn number 4 as we speak.
Yeah, down into turn 4, he's going to have a lot of traffic up ahead of him. So he's going to have to be extra cautious as everyone's moving out of the way so far. Doesn't have the same issues.
Wow, 10th and a half.
1.5 temps. Yeah, he's provisionally looking to be on pole by nearly a tenth. But we just stick on board, throws it into turn 9, got a little bit of traffic, but it's not going to bother in turn 10. And up to the line.
Brilliant from
One and a
Laurenti.
half tenth improvement.
Brilliant from Laurenti. Will anyone be responding to that? We're going to see if we can get on board with someone coming towards the line. We have a Aston Martin to the line. That's a Guado, almost 2 tenths up on his time. And this could get him onto the front row if he's able to find just a little bit more time for the final 2 corners. Cross the line now comes Aguado, and it's going to be P4 for the Aston Martin right now.
Yeah, it was very good.
Wow,
But that's
Thomas right at the end there, getting a 0.3 going on provisional pole. Let's go on board with Chris, because Chris right now could be on course for a pole position. Oh, he's just invalidated. He's just taking a little bit too much good. Even 9.
Watch out for George as well. He's looking to be on a flyer. P3.
Bell. These lap times are coming in quick and fast now. Very difficult to keep up with all the improvements, but we're on board with Casper right now. Coming through the middle sector split, over a 10th up, and this it needs a bit more. Needs a bit more if he wants to really get himself onto the front row here. As we come through turn number 9 now, maximum commitment in towards turn number 10. And to the line will come Casper. It's going to be pole. No, it's going to be P3. Thomas coming into the pit lane, Laurenti into the pit lane, Aguado into the pits. What about Frank? Frank's on an invalidated lap, and that is the end of qualifying, Quinn.
Yeah, that was just constant action, and it's a shame that the races, because if it's that in the dry, then we're in for a really exciting race. We have 7 thousandths of a second separating the top 2. And, well, not even just the top 2, the top 19 separated by just over 6 and, well, just under 6.5 tenths.
Incredibly close here in Austria, as to be expected, as we wait for Aguado to retire in the pit lane, so we can run you through the order in its entirety. However, I believe there will be a restart, obviously due to some unfair 5-place grid penalties. But let's take you through the order. It is Bell on pole position with a 1 minute 3.2. 7 thousandths of a second separating Bell from Ivan Knai in second place. And of course, we got Casper in P3, joined with on the second row by Thomas in P4. George Ansel in P5 with Ali Marciano in P6. Laurenti in P7 with Chris in P8. Aguado in the top 10 in P9. And of course, we got Krypton rounding out the top 10. Then of course, we got Robbie in 11th, Kilkery in 12th, Frank in 13th, Provatox in 14th. 15th goes away of Crisby. And then we got Yano in 16th. 17th place for Jaku. And of course, we got Tiramisu in 18th place, Zena in 19th, and of course, we got Riggs in 20th place, of course, in that instant at the start of qualifying. And what a session we just had there, Quinn. Like, incredible. Right at the end, everyone just finding a good 10th in every single lap. Seemed like there was an improvement by about a 10th, and in the end it was Bell who put it on pole position, and an incredible lap from the Williams driver. So the past 2 weeks we've had a Williams driver on pole position. Do we think that Bell will do similar to what Laurenti did last week and be able to dominate the race like his teammate did last week at Monaco?
Could definitely be a possibility, but like we were saying before, anything can happen when it's a track like Austria, where everyone's base is going to be so close. You could see someone be first going through turn 1, but then they could end up 7th going through turn 4. Anything can happen, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, we will be back in just a moment as we have a quick word from our sponsors. Oh, massive thank you to our sponsors, of course, GT Omega and Sim Racing Center, of course. And looks like we are going to get a restarted lobby. And looking at how the weather is shaping up, we are in for a very intriguing race, as it looks like it's going to be a little bit changeable conditions, Quinn.
Yeah, definitely. And if I was in this race, I'd probably, well, with the lobby restart, it's probably going to be slightly different. As much as you can replicate it, it's not going to be 100% what it was going to be. But if we're going by this weather here, I'd start on the hards and take it all the way to the wet period.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like, obviously, like just judging from like the indication of what we're seeing here, in terms of what the weather is supposed to be, for the race, I do think the hards will definitely be the correct compound to start on. But you never know. Some people may risk putting on a set in the mediums and seeing if they can stretch it out. I mean, or potentially doing two soft sets just to be on the quickest tire. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. You never know. Safety cars could also play a factor and change the strategy on the fly. But yeah, I mean, the changeable conditions definitely gonna mix things up here. I do imagine that we will be seeing most of the grid on the set of the hards to begin this race, though.
Oh yeah, like you said, there might be some people who just might favour just being on a faster tyre and risk it going on 2 sets of softs. And if there is a safety car at some point, I could see some of the people who start on the hard switch to a softer compound if it's, well, if the rain hasn't come yet, obviously, they'd switch to, some of them might switch to a softer compound.
Absolutely. Of course, guys, once again, let's have a little look at the track in question on which we are racing here tonight. It is, of course, the Red Bull Ring. It is Spielberg here in Austria. 4.3 kilometers, 2.6 miles, 10 corners, 3 DRS zones, which, of course, in the rain won't be activated at all. But it's one of those tracks where, I mean, for the first stint as well, staying in the DRS train is going to be so crucial for all the guys that are right there in the midfield or down towards the back of the field. Staying in that lead DRS train is going to be so crucial.
Oh, it definitely is. You don't want to be seeing the front guy just bolt away and then from second downwards be in the DRS train. You want to have the whole field basically in a DRS train, and just, you don't want to see too much aggressive moves, but you want to see enough so it's entertaining. So it has to be a fine balance, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, coming into tonight, we do have the Drivers' Championship separated by 1 singular point, the Constructors separated by 1 singular point. A lot of jockeying to happen out there on track here tonight to try and get themselves up the order, potentially into the championship fight themselves with a good result here, and hoping that the top 3 do fall down the order somewhat. However, I am going to push you for a podium prediction early on.
I'm going to say Thomas is going to win. I'm going to say, let me just bring up the qualifying grid. Sure. That was a picture sent. Yeah, I think Thomas will get the win. That's not it. There we go. Thomas will get the win. I think Belbo will get second. And Robbie will get third.
Okay. Say less. I mean, my prediction is going to be a little bit different. I think even Knai for the race win here tonight. Casper second. And I think Thomas will get that final podium position. So we agree on Thomas on the podium, but just in different places.
Well, I mean, I just want to see a surprise podium, and I think Thomas, showing his qualifying pace here, he can definitely stick on the podium.
Yeah, of course, Thomas yet to get a point this season so far. Of course, finished P14 in round 1 in Australia, and then unfortunately was not here to attend race number 2 in Belgium, but ended up with a DNF for his efforts in Monaco. So we'll be hoping to get his first points on the board in a fantastic fashion. Quick reminder of the standings right here, guys, as Ethan Knight leads the way on 27 points, 26 points for Provatics in second place, and of course Casper also on 26 points in P3. Kilcree currently P4 on 21 points, and of course 19 points for Robbie in P5 and Lauren T in P6. 12 points for Yanel in P7 with Alpha Gully in 8th place on 8 points. Then of course we got Aguado in 9th place on 6 points. 6 points as well for Tiramisu in 10th, Frank in 11th, George Ansel in 12th, and Grisby in 13th. So all of them on 6 points. 4 points apiece for Bell and of course Jaku in 14th and 15th. 3 points for Pokeral in 16th. Lucas in 17th on 2 points, and of course we got Chris on 1 singular point in 18th place, and drivers yet to get a point on the board. Smalley Balls in 19th, Zayana in 20th, obviously Thomas as previously mentioned, Ali Marciano in 22nd, and of course we got Krypton and Riggs at the back as well, as we are just about getting ready to jump into the session again. So a quick turnaround on the lobby restart, Quinn, which is obviously thankfully fantastic to see, and won't be long now until we get to see those 5 beautiful red lights go out and we go racing for 36 laps here at the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, the thing is just, it's going to be, of course, there's still always going to be that threat of rain, as it's going to be carried over from the weather from the previous. Well, for the first time we tried, there's always going to be that threat of rain. It's just about how many safety cars we're going to get and how that's going to affect when the rain comes. If we get lots of safety cars, it's going to come earlier. So, yeah, the drivers just have to be on their toes and just be ready for, well, any circumstance, because the rain could come at the end of the race, and if there's 3 or 4 safety cars, that could drastically change it, and it could come halfway through.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, a quick reminder to everyone as well, please make sure you do remember your setups, because I mean I've done this before, I'm sure you have in the past, Quinn, as well, where it's a lobby restart and you forget to load your setup, and it is just the most painful experience possible, like driving around with a default setup and when everyone else is running a tailor-made setup for whatever circuit it may be. But we are moments away from the action beginning out on track, so we will transfer over to make sure we do not miss the start of the race. And you know what, I'm gonna be nice. Would you like to take the 5 red lights this time?
No, I'll let you do it.
Okay, right. Well, hopefully everyone will.
Doing the 5 red lights is your thing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, we will be getting racing in just a moment's time. Everyone making sure that they have their setups and race strategies all sorted. Now, this is going to be an interesting one on fuel as well, as because it's rain, you might be tempted to run less fuel in the car, knowing that you're going to be a little bit more cautious on the throttle coming out of the corner, so you're not going to be planting the foot down. And see, a safety car could definitely come out and play a factor as well. Would you be underfueling your car right now, knowing what the conditions are going to be like for the race? Would you be underfueling?
I think just because it's Austria and The likeliness of a safety car is obviously quite high around Trailer Austria. I'd be inclined to run lower.
Sorry to
Fuel.
cut in. Here we go, Joe. So 5 red lights. Lights out, and we are underway here at the Red Bull Ring. It's a good start for Bell, who maintains the race lead as even Kai there in the midfield. As we're seeing side-by-side action going through turn number 1 as Laurenti able to stay ahead of Chris as Aguado now getting in the mix. And Aguado, the only man on the field on a set of the medium compound tyres, trying to make moves early on.
Oh, George Ansel ran by the Casper side by side for the 2. George Ansel gets ahead of Casper. It's a Ferrari 2-3 going into turn 4.
That's Thomas holding down the order. Thomas, I think, tapped the back of, I believe it was Casper he tapped the back of, and Thomas down the order now. But yeah, as we got Aguado and Laurenti side by side coming through turn 6 and 7, yeah. As there's someone off in the background. I don't know who that is. Oh no, the Red Bull is around at the Red Bull Ring. Not ideal for the Red Bull Racing team, as Bell able to hold on to the race lead.
Thomas is in.
Yeah, I did think he picked up wing damage, and as we got Frank and Krypton there side by side, and
it's already.
He's retired in the bits.
Yep.
Heartbreak for Thomas. Both our predictions for a podium. You predicted Thomas for a race win, and obviously that has not gone the way either of us expected, as we got Grisby looking around the outside at turn number 3 on Pro Vardox here and unable to get it done. Might be susceptible to Riggs in behind, but no, Riggs unable to get the traction that he needs. Up at the front though, Casper looking for a lunge down the inside of George Ansel here, and his job done for Casper.
That might have opened up the door for Alex Marciano. It doesn't quite. He keeps the position.
Oh, switchback though.
Aguado.
Switchback here for Alex Marciano down the inside in towards turn number 7 and 8. Job done for
Look at the
Aguado.
exit from Aguado.
Those medium tyres coming into play for Aguado. Oh, bit of a contact, little bit of tap at the rear. I think George might have just got away with that without wing damage. But under pressure now, here comes Laurenti on George. George is falling through the order like a stone in water.
Yeah, this is like what I was saying. You could be first in George's case, you could be third going through turn 6, and then going up to turn 3, he's down in 8th. Make that 6th, a double overtake.
Yeah, Robbie going straight on. I think obviously trying to avoid Aguado and Alex Marciano up ahead, and obviously dragging Laurenti off with him at turn 3. That's allowed George Ansel back up in the P6, but my God, I think we have to take note of the fact that this man, the man in P4 right now, the only one who's gone a little bit different to the rest of the field, opting for setting the medium compound tyres and is flying through the field right now.
Yeah, he really is. He's making use of them, but he's also draining his battery a bit. Just having a look, he's on 40%, and the top 2 have barely touched their battery, whereas Casper's on about 50. So yeah, the top 2 are doing an excellent job keeping keeping the position that they're in without even touching the battery.
Well, I mean,
here comes Aguado.
Even can I get through on Bell as we just saw up ahead as we got Aguado around the outside of Casper. Casper getting very close to the back of Bell there, but Aguado unable to make the move. It was almost susceptible to Alex Marciano, and the guys stay as they are. But we're seeing a bit of a gap begin to form from Alex down to Robbie and Kilcree. Kilcree there losing, actually not getting a position on Laurenti yet, sorry. As Kilcree now up into P7. Janel and Frank in behind side by side. Coming through the heart of the middle sector, now into the final sector. And it looks like, oh my God, was that Krypton going well off into the... Yeah, that's Krypton going well off into the gravel. Krypton there, big mistake from the Haas driver. And everything now. Oh, Janel gets a big snap on the exit of the final corner. It's going to allow Frank to potentially have a little look down the inside. Be wise to stay in behind with Frank, and of course he does stay in behind. And now Aguado on Casper. the mediums versus the hards, and potentially we could be seeing Aguado have a little look down the inside potentially. Oh, gets so close to the rear of Bell, but able to get the traction around the outside on Casper. Up in the P3 now goes Aguado, and Aguado making the most out of those tyres early on.
Yeah, it really is, and I've just noticed at the back of the field is George Ansell. He's had to pit for the medium, so he may have got front wing damage at some point, which is very unfortunate. It was running in the top three, but Alex...
Side by side through turn 7 and 8, and it may look like Casper might have this done. He'll have the inside line for turn number 9. As Alex Marciano going to try to hang it around the outside. No, backs off, tucks in behind Casper. Smart there from Alex Marciano.
Yeah, it's very good from Aguado so far. But he's just gotta well, keep up with his top 2 and just, well, stick within the DRS and just use that to help gain his battery back, because he's not gonna, well, win if he just overtakes them and just takes over the lead. He's just gotta...
Well, he might be going for P2 right now, because Ivan Kanai going to cover the inside line. Aguado on the medium is going to have to send it all the way around the outside at turn number 4. Will he have the grip to pull this off? There's still wheel to wheel. There's still side by side. Heading now in towards turn number 6. Aguado down the inside out. Ivan Kanai. And Aguado now up into P2. These medium tyres have absolutely come alive for Aguado in this race. And he's making his way up the order. And of course, it's been incredible. Obviously, we've seen the growth of Aguado over the past couple of seasons. Obviously, it's called 2 seasons ago, commentating over him in the championship fight in F6, and of course last season in F4. And it's great to see him up there again, battling for a podium shirt tonight.
Yeah, it's been really good for Aguado, seeing his progress. But now he's just finding himself in a situation where...
he's on the... he backed up. Oh yeah, my God, in behind. Sorry,
contact.
Yeah, Casper tapping the back of Ivan Kanai, and that's allowed Alex Marciano to get through as well. Up in the P4 now goes the Alpha Tauri, and Gilchrist has done an incredible job. He's managed to get himself back within the DRS train. Remember that the gap did open up, the top 5 did go clear, but the battling has allowed the rest of the field to kind of close up a little bit, as we got Povatax and Frank side by side now coming in towards turn number 6. Povatax trying to hang it around the outside, not able to do so. Gets a better run out of the corner though, as it'll look to the inside, still unable to get a move done. Riggs is in behind, and he is licking his lips at the prospect of getting a top 10 finisher.
Yeah, now Robbie is outside of the DRS range unless he can really push in. Now he's outside of the DRS range, and this is going to open up the door for Laurenti to maybe get an overtake down. He might think better of it, which he does. He does get a bit of a better run out of turn 1 than Robbie, and he just uses the overspeed.
Yeah, overspeed, yeah.
Really maximises it. And that's Yanel as well, getting past Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie
may have got... Yeah, he did. Laurenti was back in DRS range of Kilcree.
Yeah, Laurenti, a big overtake, needed to get back within DRS range of Kilcree, and obviously I thought Aguado might potentially have gone for the move on Bell this time around, but not to be for the Aston Martin. But now big final sector for Laurenti to stay within that 1 second window. Only has around about half a tenth to play with, as Laurenti now coming in towards turn number 9. Needs to make sure this is as smooth as he likes, as you saw it just dip over that 1 second window, but it looks like Laurenti has done enough to get back within DRS.
Yeah, he was playing that really well. He wasn't pushing too hard to put strain on his tyres, but he pushing hard enough just to stay within. He played that really well, and just looking up to Kilcree and Casper, side by side the two. Casper absolutely just tries to send it on the other AlphaTauri, but he isn't able to get it done. But he stays ahead of Kilcree.
And of course, in a DRS train, for these guys that are obviously not towards the front of the DRS train, going for some of these overtakes, like, you really either need to get a fantastic run, capitalize on a mistake or risk it for the chocolate biscuit, so to say.
Yeah, you just gotta go for a really opportunistic move, or just be very patient with your overtakes. If it was me, I'd just be depending on the situation. If it was the last few laps, you have to be a little bit more aggressive with your overtaking.
We're about to see a potential overtake for the race leader. There's Bell there, sliding through turn number 1. And Aguado's going to get through. Up into the race lead goes Aguado. Even can I get through on Bell as well? Bell might have a little bit of trouble going on right now as he's been overtaken by 3 drivers down the straight. Did look like Bell just completely lost it coming out of turn 1, but there might have also been a little bit of contact there. And Bell trying to fight back on Alex Marciano. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact as they head down in towards turn number 4. Bell tries to outbrake and go all the way around. It's 3 wide to turn 4 as Alex, Ivan and Bell all managing to make their way through that. Absolutely incredible from the 3 of them. But Bell now back up into P2 as you're seeing Ivan Knay and Alex Marciano still side by side. And it looks like Alex is going to maintain P3. But what a double overtake from Bell at turn 4 around the outside of both Alex Marciano and Ivan Knay.
Yeah, and whilst all that battling was going on, Aguado managed to pull out half a tenth, which obviously is not enough because of the DRS. So that is Bell quite deep into turn 1 again, opens the door up for Marciano to potentially make a move, but it doesn't look like it's going to be. Bell gets very close to the back of Aguado, but he isn't able to get the move done. Even Nye tries to go on the outside of Marciano, but he isn't able to.
Yeah, as we see
this looks to be another move, and it is, as Aguado finds himself in P2 once again.
Yep, Bell making that overtake, retaking the race lead. As now we're seeing all these drivers bunch up as Casper all the way down in P10. I didn't quite see what happened with Casper. Has he potentially got wing damage or anything? It looks like he's really struggling.
I think it was between Kilcree and Casper, where Kilcree sent it down the inside of turn 3 and forced Casper out wide. And it must have been front wing damage, as that is Azuna once again with a 3-second time penalty. 12 seconds of time penalties for Azuna. That is Casper actually in the pits.
Yep, Casper putting on for
he is getting a front wing change.
And
Azuna's out.
Safety car.
Safety car. That could have been good timing in there for Casper. But of course, it was called out halfway, when he was in the pits, so not sure how far he's going to be behind. It's 28 seconds behind Aguado, so Casper now, he's kind of stricken at the back now. It's Casper.
I think this all depends right now. Like, obviously, we've seen mediums on Casper. We could see people jumping onto a set of soft tyres, but it all depends when this rain is scheduled to come in. As we should be seeing everyone funnel into the pits to make sure that they do not lose out in terms of the tyre strategies.
Bell, yeah. The only, he'd be screwed up a bit. Kilcree's going to be held up.
Laurenti as well.
Yeah, Laurenti's going to be held up. Kilcree's going to be held up. Jakku's probably going to be held up.
Yes, this will
a lot of people.
A little bit.
Yes, Laurent. Janel is actually in P5 now.
Yep, Janel up in the P5. Obviously,
Frank as well.
Yep, a lot of double stacks happening in the pit lane, but of course, I mean, you're going to lose more time by staying out on those tyres. So they definitely made the correct choice, as Janel momentarily was ahead of Ivan Knay, as obviously they slowing down, trying to get some heat into the brakes, and of course looking to try and get some temperature into those tyres. It'll be interesting to see what lap the rain does come, because everyone's jumping onto a set of mediums, so I think we are still a minimum 10 laps away.
Yeah, definitely. It was, well, Aguado was still looking like he had strong pace, and it was on about 11, 12 lap old mediums. So, yeah, if they do go about that distance, we could be expecting rain, I'd say, with about 9 or 10 laps to go.
Yep, potentially lap 13 of 36. We're in the safety car conditions right now. Aguado, the race leader. Bell in second place. Alex Marciano in P3. Ivan Knai in P4. Janel in P5 with Frank in P6. Lauren T in P7. Robbie in P8. P9 for Gilcree. And then, of course, we've got Riggs rounding out the top 10. So Riggs has actually had, honestly, Riggs has had a very good start to this race, coming from the back of the field all the way up into P10. Not a bad going from Riggs. We're seeing Casper now on a set of the soft compound tyre.
Yeah, that's interesting from Casper, because he had put on those medium status on just as, well, this safety car was coming out. So unless he's heard something about the rain on his radio that thinks the soft can get him there, I'm not too sure.
I honestly think like we will be looking at rain within like the next 10 laps, but I think Casper is looking at this as like, I need to have a better compound of tyre on if I'm going to try and make my way through the field.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. Lap 14 of 36. Safety car should be in. Hopefully the end of this lap, but it might be a very late call. And in fact, nah, it's going to stay out another lap, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's staying out.
Well, I tell you what, our podium predictions are not going too well for us at the moment, do they?
No. No, it's definitely not going well for us at the moment.
As we got Zena in the chat saying controller wasn't working tidy, which has led to the DNF of the Mercedes driver, which is unfortunate. If it, down to tech issues, and that is never ideal for tech issues to play that kind of factor in a race. So we're going to send out commiserations to Zena for that, and it is unfortunate, but it's one of them ones. It's one of them ones.
Yes, we do have the safety car coming in this lap. It's going to be an interesting one to see how Aguado actually takes this restart, whether he decides to go early or right up to the line.
We are going to have to wait and see, as I'm on board with Bell, because Bell needs to be on point with this restart and has to be following furiously to keep on the back of Aguado here as we get going in just a few moments. Whenever Aguado decides to bolt, we'll be back to green flag racing. The safety car is now back in the pits. It's hopefully done for the day as Aguado has gone.
Yeah.
And Casper has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Not ideal on those soft compound tyres. And around a circuit like this, a 3-second time penalty could make or break your race. as we not seeing any overtakes happening thus far. So I think everyone feeling what's called a little bit calm now on the safety car restart. Of course, we saw a lot of action at the start of the race with everyone going for those risky overtaking maneuvers, which didn't always pay off without wing damage, but a lot of overtakes did pay off. And Bell now all over the back of Aguado here, really putting the Aston Martin under pressure for the race lead.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how Aguado can defend once the DRS is back activated. As fast as laps coming in left, right and centre, and it looks like it's going to be Casper for 159. Holding on to that title so far. There's still got another lap for DRS to be enabled. It looks like Bell is applying the pressure a little bit.
A big late braking moment for the McLaren, trying to go all the way around the outside. Even Knight gets alongside. Let's see if Yano's going to be able to do this. A little bit of contact there. Fortunately, neither of them were dragged into the wall, because that could have ended in disaster right there between the Ferrari and the McLaren. But Ivan Kanai does keep a hold of P4. But that was a very big late braking maneuver from Yano to try and get an overtake done in this race.
Yeah, just watching even there on the exit of turn 6, it did fall a little bit wide. But going on board with Bilbao, he's really started to get onto the back of Aguado. And DRS should be enabled now, so he's going to have it in the next DRS zone. So Aguado is going to have to do a lot of defending from this point onwards.
Yeah, and not only that, Aguado will also have Alex Marciano to contend with as well, as Alex will probably be trying to look to follow Bell through whenever Bell does decide to go for this overtaking maneuver. And it looks like now's the time for Bell in towards turn number 4. DRS, ERS being used down into towards turn number 4 into the braking. Bell into the race lead once again, and looking now to try and pull away from Aguado if possible. Laurenti side by side with Frank coming into turn number 6. As Laurenti on the inside, Frank holding it all the way around the outside and keeps a hold of that position. Stays in P6, does IRT Frank.
I'll tell you what, this is a lovely helicopter shot. On the broadcast camera, it's a lovely helicopter shot that I just got. But yeah, Aguado getting really close to the back of Bell. And he's dragging along Marciano with him. Aguado may look to just apply the pressure. He's going to stick behind for this last DRS zone. And get the DRS here and potentially make the move into turn 4. But Bell's going to be well aware of it and just pull off to the right side of the road, completely obscuring the way round the inside. And that's great. Well, it was an aggressive defensive move from Bell. He didn't really need to defend it that much because Aguado really got nowhere near him on the turn 4. But yeah, Riggs and Kilcree. Riggs finds himself up into P9.
Yeah, Riggs getting through on Kilcree, making his way up the order. And this has been a good drive so far from Riggs. Getting himself into the top 10, moving up the order, taking advantage of any opportunity in front of him. As we was looking on the back of Robbie's car, as we got Frank over the back of Laurenti once again. But we're going to revert our attention back to the front for the race lead. And let's see if Aguado is going to go for it this time around. Or will he back off like he did last time? And will that open the door for Alex Marciano in behind? No, here comes Aguado now, down the inside, in towards turn number 3. Aguado down the inside, switch back there from Bell. And Bell on the ERS, got the DRS and should be able to retake this position. Beautiful switch back there from Bell to retake the race lead.
Yeah, I think Aguado was just thinking if he could just get a clean run by Bell and just defend the inside, then he's got the position. But yeah, he just went a bit too deep into turn 3, opened up the door for the switchback, and Bell took full advantage of it. So can see the idea from Aguado, but Bell obviously executed the switchback.
Yep, as we begin lap 21 of 36. Bell Bell still leads the way. Aguado in second place, Alex Marciano in P3. As Aguado closing right up underneath the rear wing of that Williams and will easily get past with DRS now down in towards turn number 3, and potentially Alex Marciano might be sniffing an opportunity very soon on one of these guys. As now Aguado able to hold on to that momentarily, but Bell Bell's just going to come straight back through with DRS. So these guys trading the race lead back and forth every single DRS zone now.
Yeah, he's just got a, well, that is Chris round. That's a 3-man tangle at turn 4 between Casper, I believe it was Casper, and the 2 Chris's.
Unfortunately, it's not gone the way of Casper here tonight. Falling well down the order, trying to make his way back through with those soft compound tyres, but it's just not worked out for Casper. And of course, Chris and Frisbee as well, not working out for those two down at the back. And here comes Aguado once again on Bell Bell, retaking the race lead. But for how long? Because you see Bell Bell always seems to take it back, coming in towards turn number 4.
There.
As Alex and
Bell Bell. Sorry to cut you off, but Bell Bell had a little bit of a wiggle on the exit there at turn 3, and that really compromised his run on Aguado. And Aguado finally is able to stick with the race lead coming out turn 4.
Looks like Frank has had a bit of a moment as well, dropping down the order outside the top 10. Now for IRT Frank, as you see Robbie and Kilkey there momentarily side by side, as you see the big flash of red light there as Kilkey gets a little bit of a tank slapper coming through turn number 8, and that's going to allow Frank to try and go all the way around the outside as oh my god, Frisbee, Kilkey falling down the order into the pit lane and will come in and put on a fresh set of boots and actually maybe even retiring from the session. There was a ghosted car involved in that as well, which I did see. So I wonder if there was like maybe a desync or lag issue going on between the drivers out there on track. But as it currently stands, Aguado, since Bell Bell has made that one mistake on the exit of turn 3, has been able to just hold on to the race lead.
Yeah, I do think that there is a desync issue. Yeah, Frank has left the lobby, which is unfortunate because he was running a good race, and yeah, looks to be just a desync issue. But turning our attention back to the front of the field, it's relatively spread out between the top 8. Everyone really about 4 to 5 tenths. Well, there were, apart from Marciano again, very close to the back of Bell Bell. But yeah, everyone was relatively evenly spread out between the top 8.
Alex down the inside of Bell Bell in towards turn number 3. Bell Bell looking for that switchback line that worked very well on Aguado. But will it work on Alex? Alex gets good traction coming out the corner, and Alex maintains P2 in this race. Has a little peak on Aguado, as Bell Bell also had a little bit of a peak on Alex Marciano in towards turn number 4 as well. Robbie and Krypton battling out for P10, the final point being position, both of them with a time penalty to their name, as it looks like Krypton's just going to keep a hold of that P10 for the time being.
Oh, did you just see that? The rain is coming. The rain is starting to fall.
Yep, absolutely. Lap 24 of 36. The rain is beginning to fall on track, and now it's going to be a case of how quickly does this track go from full slick tyres to intermediate tyres. That's going to be the question.
Yeah, what did I say before with the safety car out? Around about 9 9 or 10 laps to go, we might see the rain
Bell.
start, and it's 25 at the moment.
Bell there, just having a good old look on the inside of Alex Marciano. Gets side by side with the Alpha Tauri, so still wheel to wheel coming in towards turn number 4. Bell concedes the position as you got Masu and Krypton battling out for P9 now. They're side by side as well. As we'll have a little look at that battle. Krypton down the inside in towards turn number 6. Job done for the Haas. But 2 seconds off the back of his teammate. It's going to be difficult for Krypton to close that gap down without DRS.
Yeah, it really is. But if either Marciano, Bell, or even want to potentially just get a race win here, I think they've got to get an overtake done whilst they have DRS. It's going to be their best bet. And then just defend whilst it's wet conditions. Marciano decides not to go for the overtake on Aguado, electing to try and get a better exit. Aguado moves over to the right to cover off. He doesn't defend it enough, and Marciano goes down the inside for the inside line. Aguado tries to hang it around the inside, but it's squeezed out of room, and that opens the door for Bell. And he's fighting back, but P2, he was in the race lead for a good few laps and looked to be in control, but down into P2 goes Aguado.
Yep, Aguado falling down to P2. Alex Marciano now into the race lead. Bell had an opportunity, but was unable to do much about it. Laurenti and Riggs into the pit lane. And this is a big call from the two of them. Because to me, it does seem slightly early for intermediates, but they can't be going on anything other than intermediates. And it is the green wall tyres going on Riggs' car. And of course, Laurenti's cars. Lauren will be released from the pit lane. This will be interesting. Obviously, both of them now on intermediates. And we're going to see if they have the pace to close up right now. Because right now, it doesn't look wet enough on track, in my opinion.
No, it's definitely not wet enough. You don't really see any standing water, any puddles anywhere. But look at Bell going for the outside line. Isn't able to get past Aguado. And yeah, the top 6 are really they're just so tightly packed together, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this all pans out. But looking at Yano, he had quite a wild exit. And it looks like, Provotox is the next person to decide to come in for intermediates.
And to be honest, it doesn't look like Laurenti is losing any time to Frisbee up ahead, so maybe it is intermediates already, but it doesn't look like intermediates out on track. However, obviously visually it doesn't look like it, but it might just feel like intermediates right now for the drivers, as we got a whole heap of cars into the pits, and Jaku has retired in the pit lane.
Yeah, that's quite interesting from Jaku to retire in the pit lane. Back up to the front of the field. We've got the front 5 all within about half a tenth of each other, and they're just still going along, and it's going to be about who out of the top 5 really. Well, you got to say, because of Provotox pitting, that might cause a chain reaction, and Alex Marciano's coming in, Aguado, Bell, Even is staying out, Yanil's coming in as well, so Even is the only person out of the top 5 not deciding to pit. And that was Robbie and Kilcree, both getting 3 second time penalties, one after another.
Not ideal for Kilcree or Robbie in this race, but the top 3 yet to make a pit stop, and we got Alex Marciano, Aguado. Let's see where Laurenti is going to come out relative to everyone here, as Laurenti is going to be able to just about get side by side with Bell on the pit lane exit. Look at Provotox there. Going to go for a double overtake in towards turn number 3. The Haas trying to make his way up the order and gets the job done. But a big snap on the exit is going to allow Bell to come straight back at him. As you see in the background there, Laurenti was getting out of shape. Aguado up ahead down the inside of Alex Marciano. Job done for Aguado as we got Yano in the mix as well, and Laurenti. So all these guys now side by side, it's 3 battles by year, 2 by 2 like Noah's Ark, as Aguado and Alex Marciano still side by side. Alex Marciano maintains the net race lead, but how much time did they lose with that little bit of battling right there? As now I think it is definitely looking to be intermediates right now, as Ivan Knai, Tiramisu and Robbie all into the pit lane. And we will wait to see when Gilchrist and Frank come into. Actually, no, Frank is lagged out of the session, so his AI will be driving around right now. As Gilchrist yet to come into the pit lane, but look at this now. Aguado gonna look for the move on Alex Marciano. Tries to hold it around the outside, trying to outbrake the AlphaTauri, unable to do so, and that's allowed Bell to get a tighter line coming out of turn 3. And that will allow the Williams side-by-side action down in towards turn number 4. Little bit of wheel banging, but oh, it's a beautiful switch back there from Aguado if he can pull it off. But no, Bell able to get the traction that he needs to hold on to P2. So Aguado now dropped down to P3 in this race. As I believe my co-commentator might be having... you good?
Oh, good. Yeah, it's not... I was just saying, well, before I realised I was muted, I was saying that, yeah, Guado's not really had the best of runs so far on these intermediate tyres, but the one thing that is kind of saving him is the fact that DRS is still enabled.
Yep, lap 31 of 36. We're in the closing stages of this race as Ivan Knai starts to send it down the inside and gets the job done on Yano, but almost draws side by side with both Vadox. That could have ended in absolute tears for the pair of them, as Pro Vadox and Ivan Knai both battling out in the Drivers' Championship, and of course battling out in terms of the Constructors as well, between Haas and obviously Ferrari, and of course you got the Saubers in the mix as well. Of course, Sauber not having a great performance here tonight, so he might pull away from both Haas and Ferrari. But we're seeing a good performance right now from the AlphaTauri. Williams are looking like they could have 2 cars inside the point, and good going from them on that front as Aguado in the final sector closes up to Bell, but not close enough to make a move. Maybe down in towards turn number 3. We'll see this overtake happen as DRS is still activated, and now there we go. It's just been disabled. I was about to say, now we're starting to see it is definitely intermediate conditions, and the DRS being deactivated has now indicated that as Bell tries to go around the outside of Alex Marciano through turn 3. They're going to be wheel to wheel, side by side. We're going to stay on board with Aguado for a view of this battle as Alex Marciano maintains P1 in this race as it currently stands, and there's a good drive so far from the top 3. I mean, they have absolutely been the 3 drivers to keep an eye on. So many times the lead has changed between them, and Bell has been the one constant throughout this entire race at the front.
Yeah, definitely has. Of course, Bell qualifying as he did, he started near the front. Well, yeah, he started at the front, and he's just stuck around there for the whole race. Whereas the other people who qualified near the front have dropped off a bit, especially with Thomas. Had such good qualifying and then didn't even make it round, well, 1 lap.
And of course you got Casper as well, currently down in P11. And we'll see now been a good race for the Alfa Romeo, and with that penalty as well, going to be an issue for him to try and get some points. It's even Knai gets through on both Vadox, and that is big in terms of the the drivers championship. Of course, those two separated by one singular point in the standings, and right now Ivan Knai are going to extend that gap by a further 2 points and move 3 points clear of the Haas driver. As again in this final sector, honestly, this final sector, it looks like Aguado might just have the pace on these two up ahead in the final sector.
Yeah, definitely looks like he does, but he's not really getting an opportunity to, well, show it. As yes, he is about 2 tenths behind Bell, but just the front two, their ultimate pace through the first 2 sectors, as that is Bell really having a mistake through turn 1, like we've seen previously in this race. As Aguado goes to the inside, a little bit of wheel banging between the two. Aguado goes for the dive. Alex goes deep into turn 3. Still side by side between the two. Still contact. Still wheel banging.
Into the wall. Into the wall.
And that was
and Aguado.
Belbo and Aguado, of course, it's unfortunate as, yeah, there's Aguado getting really frustrated.
That's pure frustration as Ivan Knai and Alex Marciano battling out for the race lead there. And honestly, I mean, a lot of wheel banging going on between the pair of them. And I don't know, I think the stewards will be looking into that incident, that is for sure, after this race. But Alex Marciano still in the race lead. Ivan Knai now up in the P2. Pro Radox now onto the podium.
Yeah, and I will say Riggs is having a fantastic debut race here in F4, up into the top 5, albeit because of the incident that happened ahead of him. He's having a really good race here.
Honestly, if Riggs can keep up this performance right now, honestly, he'll get my driver of the day.
No, I'm not gonna say mine just yet. Just wait.
That's why I said if he keeps up this performance. As Bell picks up a 3-second time penalty. Of course, now down in P9 was on course to fight for the race win, but the instant with Aguado tumbling them both down the order. We're on the penultimate lap of this race. Alex Marciano still leads the way. Ivan Knai in second place, the championship leader, currently extending his lead at the front. For Radox in P3. Casper now back into the points as well for the Alpha. The Saubers. As we are now on the final lap of the race. Very few opportunities left for Ivan Knai, but this is going to be one of them on the run up the hill in towards turn number 3. And the traction that Alex just got at turn number 1, incredible. And in fact, we could be seeing Ivan under a bit of pressure from Paradox in behind now.
Yeah, we could do, but Ivan is just getting a good run. The traction once again, Alex Marciano is just getting the beautiful traction out of these corners, and yeah, this was the final opportunity to get a move done, and he's just flying away. 6 tenths, just under 6 tenths now is the gap, but should really be looking back at this battle for P2 as Protox was really getting close to the back of Even Nye. But as we get towards the penultimate corner and the final corner, there's only one man that we need to be talking about right here, right now. It is Marciano across the line here at the Red Bull Ring to take the win, with Even Nye in second and Protox completing the podium.
Yeah, Yano getting P4 in the end with Riggs in P5, and yeah, Riggs my driver of the day, I'm not gonna lie. Tiramisu, a good result for him up in P6, Lauren T in P7, Robbie in P8, Bell P9, Casper P10, and of course we got Chris in P11, Crisby in P12, Krypton in P13, and of course we got Kilcree putting it into the wall as he crosses the line in P14. What could have been for this man Aguado, but that instant with Bell as well. What could have been for Bell as well in this race, but the instant between the pair of them absolutely destroying both of their races. Aguado crosses the line and will finish in P15, and I think tempers will be flaring after that one, Quinn.
Yeah, I think it definitely will. Yeah, it wasn't a good look watching that on board with Aguado. But at the end of the day, you are gonna sometimes have hard racing, wheel to wheel action, but these things happen in racing. You're gonna tangle, and it's gonna happen. Of course, Aguado has experienced it before in PSGL, but just gotta keep your head and look forward to the next race, is what I say. And yeah, just give props to Alex, even Nye and Provotox on getting podiums, and Riggs starting in last place and getting into the top 5. You gotta give props to him.
Yep, absolutely. So let's run you through your order one more time. It is Alex Marciano with the race when we're even coming through to finish P2, with Provadox completing the podium. Yano comes on for a strong finish in P4, with Riggs with a driver of the day performance in P5. Tumasu comes home in P6 with Lauren T in P7. Robbie in P8 with Bell in P9. Casper completing the final points paying position in P10. Outside of the top 10 we have Chris in 11th for Crisby in 12th, Krypton in 13th for Kilcree in 14th, Aguado in 15th, Franco of course lagged out the session in 16th, and of course our non-finishers were Jaku, Zena, George Ansel and W.R. Thomas there in 20th place, and the fastest lap also going to Kilcree as well. But Quinn, some big talking points in that race. However, I think the main talking point will definitely be that incident between Aguado and of course Bell at the end. Both of them were within the shout of taking the race win, obviously, with Alex Marciano, and just not enough room between the pair of them. We saw a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact now on the lead up to that incident, but I wasn't actually on board. I was looking at the broadcast camera, so I don't know if anyone moved across or not, but definitely one that the stewards will be taking a look at, that is for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna. Well, you have to think it's gonna be looked at 100% in stewards, and it's definitely gonna be submitted. But yeah, other than the incidents that happened, it was a fantastic race, and yeah, just looking forward to next week.
Yeah, and of course, speaking of next week, yes, of course, next week we will go racing at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix. Round number 5 is, of course, taking us to Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix, and a track as well, Quinn, which can promote a lot of good overtaking, but also is a high risk, high reward circuit with those chicanes where traction is so crucial. Penalties are going to be so crucial as well, and of course that infamous final chicane, also known as the Wall of Champions, could claim a few front wings, of course.
Yeah, definitely could. It's very tricky track. You gotta find a right balance between downforce and top speed, with especially you've got multiple chicanes, you've got a hairpin, and then the ultra long straight split by the Wall of Champions chicane. You just gotta find a right balance between downforce and high speed for, well, to be successful.
Absolutely. And of course, after Canada, we do go racing in France for round number 6, and of course to Portugal for round number 7, Azerbaijan round number 8, Netherlands round number 9, Brazil round number 10, and of course we end the season at the Circuit of the Americas for round number 11 at the United States Grand Prix. We head to Texas for the season finale. But of course, that is going to bring an end to the action here tonight in F4 on the PlayStation TS in PSGL. I've of course been Michael Edwards. He has been Danny Quinn, and we'll catch you next week for round number 5 as we take in the fantastic Canadian Grand Prix. Until then, guys, it's goodbye from the pair of us.
See you.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL. It's Wednesday night. It's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
Star here in this phenomenal race. Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that 2 lead, 1.5 seconds DRS.